Let's see if anybody shows up this time. It's a lovely early evening in the yard. Zoe was all the way up there. I don't know where she's at now. Hey, David, how are you? It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. I heard you had a busy weekend. Lots of fun stuff at your house. Yes, you can pet the dog if she comes down out of the yard. Here she comes. Here she comes. Here she comes. Miss Zoe. Zoe, Zoe, Zoe. There she is. She still has her sleeves on. I want her to heal a bit more. It was a long incision. She had 7 stitches. Probably more interesting than some of the other lives we've watched. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I can sure try, though. It is a nice evening. It's not too hot. I can hear where my house is. It's a little cul-de-sac, but not too far off is a little a shopping center, and there's a bar in the one that's pretty close. And so on the weekends, you can hear when they have live music, so I can sort of hear them. Who are the other 2 people? 3 people in here. Justicles! Hi, Justicles! So glad to see you. How are you? I hope everything is good in your world. Hooray! 4 people now. So nice. I wish you were all sitting here on my back patio with me. I kind of cleaned it a little bit today. Good to see you too, Jess. Very good to see you. Zoe, stop. She's down there. The birds throw so much seed. I'll show you guys. I have to have the phone on. The battery dies so quick on my phone that I have to take the power bank with me. I'll show you guys the mess of seeds. See, there's so much seed down here. They throw it down. It gets there. Then Zoe knocked that little dish down. I kind of break the seed up a little bit, stick it up on the wall, because there's a couple of young squirrels that come down from way back there along the fence, and they climb down the crepe myrtle. They come usually in the mornings and in the evening, and I pile up the seed on the rock wall so that they can munch on it in a safe place where Zoe can not get to them too quick. Yes, it is relaxing, Justicles. It is. It's very nice out here. It's a favorite part of my house. A very favorite part of my house. And even though the houses are, like you could see, the houses are close. So that's the neighbor's house. So the way the neighborhood is, everybody's yard is to the right of the house on the left. So everybody's pretty close, but it's mostly older folks in here. Actually, all older folks in here. So it's pretty quiet. Everybody's pretty quiet. The birds are okay for the most part. They'll come every now and then and feed. She doesn't really chase the birds too much. Every now and then she might, if the doves are on the ground, she'll kind of charge them, but The little songbirds and stuff she kind of doesn't mess with. But the squirrels are a different story. I'm pretty sure because the two that come down are young, that if it wasn't for Zoey, I bet you if I was sitting outside and I put peanuts out, pretty sure I could get them to come and take peanuts from me, but I can't with Zoey. Zoey is not a fan. Not a fan. It's a little bit buggy right now, but I'll brave it for a little while for you guys. Mosquitoes are pretty prevalent here. There's my roses, my rose bush that has the red and pink roses on one bush. I have no idea how that happened. Josh is the only four-legged creature allowed in the yard. Yes, in her mind, that's very true. She is the only four-legged creature allowed in the yard. Yes, yes, yes. It was pouring rain last night while I was at work. So muggy. Yeah, it's South Carolina. Hello, sis. I'm so glad you're here. Yes, Jess, it's in South Carolina, it's muggy, muggy, muggy. But I'll still take it over the cold of New York. I don't miss the cold and the snow. I know, yay, Liz is here. Hooray! Yes, I do not miss the cold and the snow. I do really love South Carolina. I'm glad I moved. Yes, Liz is a queen, for sure. This is the tree that the cardinals had nested in. They're not there any longer. Oh, you're in Milwaukee. Yeah, it was dry here too. We had dry. A few weeks ago we had some good rain. Running to the meat market, but I'm listening. Okay, Liz. Yeah, yes, tornadoes sometimes. I've not had one close to here, but you all probably know that I think it was in 2022. Pretty sure it was 2022 or 2021. Right after my son, he had just bought his house. He was in his house for like 7 months, and a tornado came through. He lives in Elabelle, Georgia. And I had just, like, in the months prior to this happening, I had found that Ryan Hall on YouTube. He does weather stuff, and he goes live when there's tornadoes or snowstorms or whatever across the country, and he'll track them. And so I had been watching him for a little while, and he always tells you, like with tornadoes, go to your safe spot. If you have a helmet, put a helmet on. Always wear shoes, because if a tornado hits, you're probably going to be walking through glass to get out, and all the things that you should do to be safe. And I happened to be watching him, and my son usually calls me after work most days, and he called me, and he was driving home, and I had been watching Ryan Hall, and I saw that there were tornadoes in the area of where my son lived. And so he's driving home, and I'm telling him all the things that Ryan Hall always says about, go to the interior room, usually a bathroom, all the things that everybody knows. And my son gets home, parks his car in the driveway, opens up the garage door, and he's standing in the garage, and he's looking, and he sees it coming right for his house. So he runs in the house. He tries to close the garage door, but the pressure must have been starting to change because the garage door wouldn't close. So he goes into the house, and stupidly, he should have picked his guest bathroom, which has no windows, but he stupidly went into the master bathroom, which of course has a gigantic, like when you enter into it, right in front of you is a soaking tub with a great big picture window behind it. So the tornado hits, and all I hear is the sound of a train and glass breaking. And he's like swearing up and down and whatnot. And I didn't realize it, but he dropped the phone because when the window exploded and glass was breaking, he went back into the bedroom and he grabbed a pillow off the bed and he held it over his head and he kind of crouched down next to the bed. And he waited for it to be done. And it only lasted a couple of minutes. It seemed like a really long time. So, and I'm like yelling to him on the phone, but I didn't realize the phone was on the floor because he dropped it. And he picks up the phone and he just keeps saying over and over again, everything's fucked, everything's fucked. And then I hear him walking and I hear glass crunching, crunch, crunch, crunch as he walks through the house. And then I hear him say, where am I bleeding from? And I'm like, oh my God, where are you bleeding from? He cut his hand a little bit. And he goes out to the garage and I hear a woman say, are you okay? And he's like, yes. And he says, are you okay? She says, yes. And then the phone goes dead. It was the scariest thing ever because the towers went down. Yeah. Then he was out of his house for almost a full year with insurance to get it fixed. He'd only been in it for 7 months. So yeah, that's my tornado story. That is my tornado story. So now he's hyper aware of storms. And then being from New York, we didn't know. We never had tornadoes and we never saw anything like that before. But maybe sometime I'll go through and I have some pictures that I kept. And maybe I'll put the pictures up here so you guys can see. Then they did the whole thing like they do in areas where there's tornadoes and whatnot, where they go through and check the houses and they write in red paint if they have any bodies, that sort of thing. Yeah, I have a picture of that on the side of his house. Yeah, it was wild, Liz, it was. It was nice that a neighbor in the area came by and let Nick stay with him, and he called me in the evening using the guy's phone. He must have had, I don't know, the guy must have had a different carrier. But yeah, it was frightening. Yeah, it was very terrifying, Jess, very. I do not wish tornadoes upon anybody. It's crazy wind is so. And his car got totaled too. It sucked the car out of the driveway and down the street, and a lot of the homes, most of the homes had like stockade fence in between, which of course turned into like projectiles, and one of the pieces of a fence lodged through the radiator of his car, so it was totaled. But it was a good thing because it was in the time, it might have been a little bit earlier than 2022, because it was 2019, it had to be past it, maybe it was 2022. It was in the time after COVID, when you really couldn't get new cars, and virtually any cars, and used cars were like buying gold, and he had purchased his used car just before that, and they totaled it, and I forget what they gave him, but it ended up being like a couple of $1,000s more than he actually even bought the car for. So that was pretty cool. That was really the only good thing that came out of the tornado. But yeah, it took a long time for him to get back into the house. You don't want to deal with insurance companies. Insurance companies are the devils in general. So he learned a thing or two. And the mortgage company, that was crap. He paid his mortgage the entire time. But the mortgage company held the money from the insurance company like in escrow. The contractor would have to submit stuff for them to release the money to them, which I thought was wild, because I'm like, you're paying your freaking mortgage. Why are they even involved at all? But that's how that works. If you ever wondered. It's not fun. Zoey, come here. Zoey, stop. See, there's peanuts in the bird seed. So she eats them. Watching a thing on IG where a baby with cancer died because the insurance company did not, oh my God, denied the treatment. It's insurance companies, they're the devil all around, and medical insurance especially, because, doctors can't just doctor. Everything a doctor does is run through the insurance company. It's just like if you have, like with me being autoimmune with my scleroderma. So one of the things they look for is if you get scarring in your lungs, you get pulmonary arterial hypertension from it. And it's bad. It could be really bad. And so that was one of the first things they were looking for. And if you happen to have PAH, the medication that they would want to prescribe you is Cialis or Viagra, which is off-label for that disease because they're boner pills. So now, they give that shit like candy to guys for that. But if you need it for PAH, then your doctor has to fight with the insurance company to get it prescribed. Because the first test that I had in the beginning, the cardiologist who was reading my tests thought I had it, and I pushed back a little bit, and I made him do a right heart cath to double check. It turns out that he was wrong. I think he just saw it in the echo because that's what he was expecting to see. Yeah, so that's how I know about the medication thing, because that's what he said to me. He's like, I'll have to fight with your insurance company. So yeah, so doctors can't just treat each person individually based off of what they have. It all goes through the insurance company and what they say this treatment should be or that treatment should be. Yeah, it's bad. It's awful. Yes, they should be held liable for murder, for sure, for sure. Oh, I used to read John Grisham books all the time, Dave. I love those books, yeah. Writes about insurance companies and lawyers and a lot of us. Yes, yes. I haven't read a book in a long time. I probably should. Do something a little different. But yes, and you don't realize, if you're unlucky enough to have a chronic illness or a devastating illness, you learn pretty quick how awful insurance companies can be. For sure. Zoe, come here, Zoe. Who else is here? 11 people. Can people say hi and see who's here? I can't believe that. The last time, this morning when I went live, at one point I think I had 18 people. I was like, beside myself. I was feeling like I was famous. I know my heart meds are expensive. Yes, meds are expensive. But what are you going to do? Insurance companies know you need them. Yep, they do. So they charge whatever they want. Yep, they do. They absolutely do. It's awful. It's awful, awful, awful. Zoe. I did not bring out the remote. She has a training collar on that I put on her so I can buzz her to make her stop doing stuff like this, but I didn't bring the remote out with me. Zoe. Zoe. All right, my friends, I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes, so I am going to end this. I love you guys. Let's do this. Gotta hold my phone up more steady. I've got the thing plugged in. Here's Zen Monkey. Here's your moment of Zen Monkey. Zen Monkey says, I love you, and I wish you Zen. And I love you guys, and thank you for being here. Bye.